Every time you're climbing up, you're like, why am I doing this? I'm out of breath. And then every time you see the view, you're like, oh yeah, I remember. That's why I do it.
Let's kick it. Ice, baby. Ice, baby.
Yo, before the video starts, just wanted to ask a quick favor. If you could please subscribe to my channel, like all the videos, it would be a huge help. And I'm making a push to make and post these weekly, as well as improving the quality. I'm doing this so I can try and grow my audience and hopefully, fingers crossed, make some money back to get a return on the effort I'm putting in. Thank you. Back to the video. Welcome to episode 11, where I'll be climbing up from Mazatlan to Durango along the old Highway 40 route. This stretch of road was suggested to me by so many cyclists ahead who said it was absolutely stunning and could not be missed. The road itself is only 330 kilometers but has around 6,500 meters of elevation and rises up from sea level to 2,700 meters. Before I tackled that though, I had to get the ferry across to the mainland from La Paz in the Baja to Mazatlan, Sinaloa, where waiting for me were some off-the-bike troubles. Quick story time. Mum, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. El Chapo's son was captured 5 days ago now, like 100 kilometers north of here. The cartel responded surrounding the airport. I think they shot at some planes. There was also some kind of blockade in Villa Union, both of which I cycled through yesterday. But I had spoken to some warm showers hosts in Mazatlan and in Durango. They said it's back to normal, it's safe. What I didn't realize was that the cartel stronghold, a place called Paluca, and that was along this Durango pass. So I camped about 10 kilometers away from that pass yesterday in a town called Coppola. I asked the restaurant if I could camp there and they said, yeah, of course. And they then showed me where I could camp. It's pretty much in the middle of a town square. Didn't feel the safest, but also thought it would be a lot more dangerous to try and leave in the night and camp elsewhere. Fortunately, I am telling you this story, so we're all okay and we're back on the road. Don't know if you can see behind me these tree stumps knocked down. There's a car that's been burned out a couple hundred meters back as well, and fires on the road. I'm pretty sure these were the roadblocks that the cartel were using to block this section of road and just cause disruption basically. So I think that's why I saw a ton of army up here yesterday in Humvees. Maybe they were clearing the path or just showing a presence. These hills, this altitude, and this heat is absolutely destroying me. I'm sat roadside. I've done this maybe 4 or 5 times now because I do 2 kilometers of climbing of the intense gradient, and then I'm just dead, completely out of breath. I'm like struggling just to breathe normally because we're at 2,000 meters at the moment. You can hear me taking deep breaths. So we are almost at the peak. There's another 200-300 meters and then we drop down a bit. I'm not going to take this altitude lightly anymore. We had a long night's sleep, I think about 11-12 hours last night in this beautiful little hotel in a place called El Palmito. 52 kilometers of climbing yesterday, absolutely brutal. Humidity was so high, the heat was high, the gradient was relentless. I can't even think. I've got a lot of mind fog. The elevation is what I'm talking about. Can feel the deep breaths now. The plan today is to get to El Salto. That's 100 kilometers away. We will see if that happens. Organ out the window at the moment in terms of it's as far as my lungs can get me. So this is the little town of El Palmito. This is where I stayed last night. The hotel behind me. I wish sometimes Mexico didn't have a noise problem. Yeah, they're not afraid of loud noise well into the night. This is just absolutely stunning. Friends along the way said that this part of the road gets absolutely stunning. The scenery changes. I mean, the camera's not going to do this justice, but descending down and like you don't even have to focus on the cycling. You can just look at the views. It gets me every time. Mountains to the left as well. You're looking up. Silence. The birds. Makes it all worth it. Every time you're climbing up, you're like, why am I doing this? I'm out of breath. Yesterday I was like drowning in sweat and the humidity. And then every time you see the view, you're like, oh yeah, I remember. That's why I did it. The one thing that I've struggled to show in the video here is how unrelenting the gradient was through this section. Before I got to these nice, beautiful descending parts, it was intense for 100 kilometers, almost vertical, it felt like. Absolutely crazy. Welcome! I am struggling again. This altitude is making the brain foggy. What are you trying to say, James? What are you trying to say? Yeah, it's a really weird feeling cycling at altitude, just because the legs don't feel too tired. They feel like they've got more in them, but you just can't fuel them. And the breathing is really heavy, really deep. Never felt like this before. It's been a general climb. There's been more dips in the elevation, but that gradient is just unforgiving. So I've just arrived into La Ciudad, so I'm going to rough it. It's meant to be really cold up here. We're at like 2,700 meters and I'm camping in the national park. It's an off-road track, but I've already made a friend. I think this little pup's going to camp with me tonight. It's overtaking me now. I think is it she? She was running next to me for a little bit. I have a friend for the night. What's your name? What's your name? Come on, let's go find a camp spot. What should I call you? Delilah. Delilah. She didn't like that. What's your name then? Caroline? Valerie? Chica? No, nothing. We'll keep trying. Right, I'm gonna set up camp. It's about 6 p.m. Camp is set up. We're in the middle of these Moab style rocks. Absolutely beautiful. La Ciudad is apparently getting below freezing at night, so we'll see how that goes. Slightly concerned about the water freezing over. I'll keep a couple bottles right near me just to keep them warm. My friend has disappeared. Dinner is about to be served. We've got some beef chili, bison chili. We got some wraps. We got some avocado, some lime and some hot sauce. So we're gonna make some taco-y things. I don't know. It's getting cold already and it's only 6. I will literally be retiring to bed, or at least retiring to the sleeping bag momentarily, and I will do everything else inside the tent tonight because it's going to go dark and cold. Right. See you later. So last night was a cold one. Don't know if you can see all the frost on the inside of the tent. That's from my breath. The battery on the camera is about to die because it's so cold. I'm getting ready. Oof. It's about 8 o'clock. The sun is still coming up. I was awake at 7, but I just stayed inside the sleeping bag for an hour because it was so cold. Hands are freezing. Right, gonna get to it. This is crazy, so beautiful. I think this is maybe the first time I've ridden, and it reminds me of home. It's some of the gravel roads that I cycle on back home. It's... Whoa. Normally I'm on my gravel bike, which doesn't have 50 kilograms of stuff strapped to it. It's a lot lighter. Oh, right. Beautiful though. Absolutely spectacular. I can't believe this is here. We've just been gently climbing after the last few days of intense riding. Today has been gorgeous. I think it's only going to get better. Cold night. You cannot tell it from this as the sun is out again already. I reckon it was between -5 and -10 last night. I had on pretty much all my clothes and I was still cold. So we have descended down from 2,700 meters, I think we're at. We're now at 2,300 and we need to drop another 500 meters to get to Durango. So we're going through these beautiful ranch lands, slowly going down these hills. We got another hour until we're at Durango. I was incredibly happy to arrive in after the last few days had really tested me and have a few days off the bike in Durango, which brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please like and subscribe as always. Join me next time where I will be trying scorpion tacos. You can see whether I enjoy them or not. I'll be taking on the desert across Durango and Zacatecas before arriving into Guanajuato.